Hello everyone, and welcome to my talk. Animals use acoustic signals to communicate, and there's good evidence that song is used in male-male competition and female choice, where a receiver's decision and response to a signal drives sexual selection for an acoustic phenotype. For many of us researchers that study birdsong, how these songs function is a major question in animal behavior. Song can also function as an index signal. An index signal is a signal which conveys physical information about the signaler. For example, in prothonotary warblers, males that sing more are larger with longer tails, and they acquire better territories earlier in the season and closer to desirable water features. In black-capped chickadees, the males with the best territories for food resources sing the most consistent songs and are more dominant in the social hierarchy. Vocal performance is one way males might assess each other or females assess a mate in some bird species. When I say vocal performance, I'm talking about the rate at which a bird delivers repeated broadband notes, as in the trill shown here, which is physically limited by beak and throat movements in the bird. Conspecific birds vary in their abilities to perform fast trills at wide bandwidth, and thus it is one song trait that appears to be used in male-male competition and female choice. Females prefer higher performance songs, and males respond more strongly when defending territories to high performance songs in many species. Because birdsong is a long-distance signal, song is also under natural selection due to environmental effects on signal transmission, such as soundscapes and landscapes. If song is used to acquire territories, the quality of that territory often has implications for how successful a bird is during the breeding season. For example, having access to preferred nesting vegetation types leads to higher fecundity and nest success in many species. Additionally, higher quality food sources leads to higher survival rates. On an evolutionary timescale, cities are a recent habitat, and the change in landscape and soundscape are unprecedented. This provides an opportunity to examine how song and fitness of animals, like birds, change in response to anthropogenic activities. Cities have highly variable habitat, as you can see here in San Francisco. There are a lot of buildings, but also green spaces where species can still maintain territories. Even within green spaces, there's a mix of native scrub habitat and planted decorative trees and grasses. This piecemeal blanket of land cover means that birds are relatively close to each other, but they can have very different habitat conditions. Cities don't just pose landscape-level selection pressures on songs and territories, but they also include different soundscapes or background noise levels than most natural areas. This sound map of San Francisco shows different noise levels along the streets, and the spectrogram at the top middle shows ambient noise taken near the Golden Gate Bridge, where traffic noise is generating a lot of low-pitch frequencies which can mask birds that are trying to sing and persist in the city. This leads us to the overarching question of most of my research, which is how do anthropogenic environments affect fitness outcomes? This diagram shows my hypothesized interactions between habitats, soundscapes, songs, and condition of birds, with solid lines indicating direct effects and dashed lines indicating indirect effects. Ultimately, these interactions are likely affecting fitness outcomes. But to get at these larger questions, we first need to understand the smaller relationships between a sexually selected signal like song, mate quality, and habitat quality, and that's what I'll focus on today. To answer these questions, I am using our model species of white-crowned sparrows. These birds are year-round residents in the Bay Area of California, and they sing one song type. People have been studying them since the 1950s, so we know a lot about the behavior and song learning process. They also form different dialects. They are found in many habitats, but their native habitat before humans would have consisted of native coastal sage scrub communities. As you can see from this aerial view, San Francisco is heavily urbanized in the south, while Point Reyes remains mostly native scrub habitat. I recorded birds from urban San Francisco and Richmond, and also in rural Point Reyes in 2016 and measured the vocal performance of the trill portion of their songs in these locations with 6 different dialects. We know that noise correlates to vocal performance in white-crowned sparrows, whether you look at it across dialects, which is panel A, across locations, panel B, or on individual territories, panel C. In all cases, vocal performance goes down as noise increases, which is likely negatively affecting mate attraction. So, based on this knowledge, the question I've had for quite some time while studying these birds is whether high vocal performers have higher quality territories, and are they in better condition themselves? So what do we predict for these questions? We predict that high performance songs are on higher quality territories, and higher quality territories would consist of more native shrubs and less introduced trees. They would have flatter slopes for foraging. There would be less noise. We also predict that high-performance males will be in better condition than low-performance males. And the way we measure this is that we look at scaled mass index, which is an index of weight and tarsus measurements. And then we also look at a fat score. So quickly I'll go through our methods. We measured and recorded 93 males and took noise measurements on their territories. We used remote sensing to measure territory quality with a 50-meter radius around the center of the territory, and we took measures of leaf area density of the understory, leaf area density of the canopy, average canopy height, max canopy height, greenness, drought index, slope, and bare ground cover. And we used AICC linear mixed models to assess all candidate models and used model averaging to find the best model. So what did we find? We found that leaf area density for the canopy and understory decreased with higher performance. That is, high performers are on territories with less dense vegetation, as you see here in panel A and D. Additionally, high performers are on territories with shorter canopies and less steep slopes. So what this means is that high-quality features are flat, shrubby, less dense canopies and understories, which is more like native scrub, and low-quality features are steep slopes and high canopy, which is caused by human-planted trees. We did not find any significant relationship for fat score or scaled mass index with performance. So overall, how do these results fit into our major questions? It seems the high-performance males attain higher quality territories, which is likely to affect fitness outcomes. The 2 measures of mate quality that we measured did not show any correlations, but that might just be the wrong thing to measure. So we need bigger sample sizes in the future, and we need to look at these reproductive outcomes to finish connecting these interactions. So thanks to my co-authors, and I will take any questions. Thank you.